Welcome to this session of Materials Engineering. Myself, Anirban Sarkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering of JIS College of Engineering, Kollam. Today's session, we will discuss about that non-destructive testing. So usually, this non-destructive testing is an useful method to determine the various mechanical properties or the various properties involved by the non-destructive method. So as the name implies, it does not damage or reduce the service life of the component. The learning outcome: understand the importance of non-destructive testing in the field of engineering. So before we discuss going to the types, first of all, we need to know what is non-destructive testing broadly. Non-destructive testing, as the name implies, does not damage or reduce the service life of a component. Usually, these tests do not directly measure the mechanical properties such as tensile strength, hardness, creep, etc. But they are used to locate the defects or flaws in the component. These flaws may reduce the useful life of the component, resulting in the premature failure even with a sound design and proper selection of materials. To obtain a high level of reliability, these defects should be absent or should be at minimum level. As soon as the defect size exceeds the one that used in the design, the component should be replaced before its premature failure to avoid dangerous result. So broadly, in mechanical engineering, type of testing that are two types. One is destructive test, where the various properties, mechanical properties of the material we determine. For example, tensile test, compressive test, bend test, impact test, corrosion resistance test, etc. The destructive testing name indicates that after usually done this test, the components are not used or they do not have in conditions to be used in the actual field. In case of non-destructive test, as the name implies, it does not damage or reduce the service life of the component. But usually this type of test is not measures directly the mechanical properties such as tensile strength, bend or compressive strength or impact strength. Rather, they used to locate the defects or flaws in the component. For example, dye penetration test, magnetic particle test, ultrasonic test, X-ray test, etc. are the example of the non-destructive testing. So there is a difference between destructive and non-destructive testing. The differences are as follows. In case of non-destructive test, used for finding out defects of the material. In destructive test, used for finding out properties of the material. In non-destructive test, load is not applied on the material. In destructive test, loads are applied on the material. In non-destructive test, no load applications, so no chance for material damage. And in destructive test, due to load applications, materials get damaged. In case of non-destructive test, no requirement of special equipment. In destructive test, special equipments are required. Non-destructive test is non-expensive to some extent. Destructive tests are expensive. Non-destructive test, less skill is required. Destructive test, high skill is required. Example for non-destructive testing: dye penetrant test, ultrasonic, radiography, etc. And in destructive test, tensile test, compression test, hardness test, etc. are the examples. The non-destructive testing, that is, which measures the external defects of the materials, that can be done by visual testing, that may be naked eye or for low magnification optical devices. It is always done before non-destructive testing, and often only non-destructive testing is required. So if visually it is found it is cracked or some defects are there, then usually that part is not going for the other type of non-destructive testing. Liquid penetrant test or dye penetrant test is an very popular test method to find out the irregularities of the surface defects of after doing or after machining or after welding of the component. A liquid penetrant and developers are applied to the test item surface, causing a color change where surface cracks and flaws exist. In another type of test that is externally we are applying, that is magnetic particle test. The test item is magnetized. The material particles are applied to the inspection surfaces. The particles will line up along the surfaces or near the surface cracks, flaws inside the component, which cannot be seen by visual test or by dye penetrant test. Although the limitations of this test is that non-magnetic material cannot respond to this type of testing. So these are the example of the dye penetration test. In dye penetration test, invisible cracks, porosity and other surface defects of the component can be easily detected by this technique. Components may be of any material like ferrous, non-ferrous, plastic, glass or ceramics. The steps for inspection are below, that is as per ASTM E165 or by IS 3658. In the following method, this dye penetration test or DP test is done. First of all, cleaning of surface, that is the surface may contain grease, oil or any other extraneous material such as the scale must be removed by the suitable solution. Then drying of these surfaces. Then we need to apply dye penetrant or on the clean and dry surfaces by dipping, swabbing or brushing or any other suitable technique. We may applicable the spraying also. The dye penetrant is now allowed to penetrate into the surface flaws. Depending upon the type of defects, the time may be anywhere between few seconds to several hours. After dye penetrant we are using, removing extra penetrant present in the surface by soft and clean cottons. Then applying developer on the surfaces. This pulls out dye from the floss and the floss are revealed by the color of the dye. Instead of developer, a fine developing powder or talc powder can be sprinkled on the surface so as the powder absorbs the dye from floss and the floss are immediately visible or revealed. So next is fluorescent penetrant test. So this test method is similar to the dye penetrant test. A dye called Zyglo, which is the trade name, containing particles which emits lights of ultraviolet radiation. When it once applied on the surfaces, Zyglo penetrates is drawn into the surface defects. The excess Zyglo is removed by washing the components in water. Then developer is applied on the surfaces so as the Zyglos from the floss is drawn out of the surfaces. The part is then inspected in ultraviolet lights. The cracks and other flaws are revealed by fluorescence at this site. Then next is magnetic particle test. Magnetic particle testing method is done as per ASTM E709 or IS 10543 and IS 12147. These test methods are used to detect various kind of flaws in ferromagnetic component such as welding, casting and forging of iron and steel. The component to be inspected for flaws is magnetized as shown in this figure, and the inspection media is applied to the component or magnetization of the component, and application of inspection medium can be done simultaneously. In the dry method of inspection, a fine ferromagnetic powder applied on the surface by means of a hand shaker, vibrating screen or by any other suitable method so that the powder uniformly distributed on the surface of the component. In the wet method of this inspection, a liquid containing fine ferromagnetic particle suspended in some area such as kerosene or petroleum oil is applied by some suitable method such as dipping, spraying or brushing. The magnetization of this component is done either by external magnetic yoke coil or by passing an electric current through it as shown in this figure. A magnetic pole is formed at the crack or flaws which causes the magnetic powder to concentrate on the particular area where inside flaws are present, and thus the flaws are easily detected. When the part is magnetized lengthwise, transverse cracks are easily detected. This is done by energizing a coil around a bar. When part is magnetized crosswise by a circular magnetic field, lengthwise cracks are easily detected. This is done by passing an electric current, either alternating or direct, through the component. The use of alternating current limits the test for detection of only those flaws which are open at the surface. This is due to the fact that alternating current try to flow from near to surface, that is skin effects. However, direct current magnetization makes it possible to detect surfaces as well as subsurfaces discontinuities. The detection of subsurface defects will depend upon the strength of the magnetic field, the distance from the surface at which the defect is located, the ratio of height of the defect to the thickness of the component, and the width of the discontinuity. This is because the leakage field caused by discontinuous diffuse and decreases the intensity with increase in distance from the discontinuities. And under favorable conditions, favorable conditions of testing, defects as much as 2-inch deep from the surface may be detected. In both the method of ferromagnetic particle effectively concentrate and outline the boundaries of the defects. However, dry method is more sensitive than the liquid one, and for better contrast, powder or liquid of different colors can be used. Dry powders are available in gray, black and red colors, whereas liquid are available in black and red colors. In a magnetoparticle testing method, special fluorescent ferromagnetic powder may be applied in wet method, similar to Magnaflux method. The component is inspected in a dark room with ultraviolet lights of wavelength of between 3500 to 4000 amperes. Such a powder emits greenish yellow light under the influence of ultraviolet light and gives a better contrast to detect a flaw. The part should be demagnetized before putting it to the surface. And this can be accompanied by as follows: by subjecting the component to a continuously reversing and steadily decreasing magnetic field, or by slowly withdrawing the component through an open solenoid while the alternating current is flowing. Then the other type of non-destructive testing, which measures the internal flaws, etc., that is ultrasonic testing. So here in ultrasonic testing, a transducer sends ultrasonic waves into the materials. Time and distance is displayed on the oscilloscope, which reads the material thickness, identifies bonding in silver brace, shows shear waves for flaws in plate. Radiographic test use X-ray or gamma ray to record a permanent image on file or a photoreactive plate for interpretation. Defect, flaws, breaks or gaps in materials. The eddy current testing uses magnetic ultrasound to produce eddy current in a material to detect surface cracks. Result displayed on oscilloscope. It used only for acceptance, not for final rejection. So first of all, the ultrasonic testing. The ultrasonic testing, the principle of ultrasonic testing involves a measure of time required by ultrasonic vibration to penetrate the materials for interest. Reflects from the opposite sides or from an internal discontinuity and returns to the point where the waves were first introduced. The behavior of the waves through such a cycle of travel with regard to time is appropriately recorded on a cathode ray oscilloscope, that is CRO screen. By visual observation of this wave pattern on CRO screen, presence of defects and their locations can be detected. Ultrasonic testing is very fast method of testing for defects because the time of travel of ultrasonic waves in the order of microseconds for the usual size of the component. It is also very sensitive method and reveals very fine flaws and discontinuities. So there are two types of this inspection method. There are pulse echo method, which that is as per IS 9664, and transmission method, that is IS 4225. First of all, in a pulse echo method, a pulse generator produces ultrasonic wave and these waves are passed into component through a quartz transducer crystal. For a better contact of the transducer with a metal surface, the couplant like thin oil or glycerin is used. As soon as the wave comes across a discontinuity, it gets reflected back. This is due to indicate as a pattern or peep on oscilloscopic scale. The wave reflected by the surface of the test piece and the wave reflected by the opposite side of the test piece are also indicated as the peeps of oscilloscopic screen. Defining the time of initial pulse and the reflected pulse from the opposite sides. If there is a flaw in the specimen, a similar peep will be seen between the two, that is one from the top and other from the bottom. And since the distance between the peeps of the oscilloscope screen represents the elapsed time of the reflected pulse, the distance of the flaw can be accurately measured. And through the transmission method, used a transducer on either side end of the test piece. The signal pulse enters the material from one transducer, travels through the material and receives the other transducer. This is translated into another signal and shows on the oscilloscope. If no flaws are present, a clear, strong signal will be seen on the oscilloscope. but if material contains flaw, a weaker or distorted signal will be seen. The ultrasonic testing inspection method can be used as a quality control test for detecting internal flaws such as cracks, porosity, laminations in metallic and non-metallic component during or after the production. It can also be used for testing of structures such as pipelines and bridges. Test can be conducted on a thick as well as thin component, but as far as possible, the reflection surface should be parallel to the testing surface. However, for the thin component, the reliability of the test result greatly depends on the sensitivity of the instrument and expertise of the operators. Next is radiographic test. Radiography, that means the X-ray or gamma ray radiography, or it may be, that is, it may be stereolithography, it may be gamma radiography, it may be neutron radiography. So all the tests are available with some safety precautions. First of all, the X-ray or gamma radiography, this test is used for detecting defects in the component manufactured by casting, welding or forging. Here, the component to be examined is exposed to the radiations of short wavelength such as X-ray of wavelength 0.2 to 5 ampere or gamma rays of still shorter wavelength from a suitable sources. This radiation penetrates through the component, and while doing so, they are absorbed by the material. This penetrate ability of this radiation depends on the wavelength and the absorbing power of the material. When these rays passes through the materials of non-uniform structure containing defects such as cavities or cracks, or the region of variable densities, the rays passing through this dense region of the object are absorbed to a smaller extent than the rays passing through the adjacent sound material. The amount of radiation emerging from the opposite side of the material can be recorded, and from the observed variation, defects can be detected. In case of X-ray radiography, is an advanced X-ray technique employing a reusable dry plate to record the image. In this process, static electricity arrange a fine powder on a specially coated aluminum plate and produce an image similar to that on conventional X-ray film. Using this process, an X-ray image is available for observation within 45 seconds. Other conventional X-ray film requires 1 hour to develop, and it need to be dry for the observation. This X-ray radiography uses a conventional X-ray tube and requires no new X-ray equipment. The need for a dark room is eliminated, and a permanent record of the image on the plate may be made in few seconds by a conventional photographic method. So, in this various type of radiographic test, some safety precautions always need to be taken care. So, the safety precaution that is a trained operator or technicians is required, and these techniques have large effect on sleep, ship access and watch standing. So, and this method is, some cases it is costly. So it is extensively done for the joining of the boiler plates where accurate welding need to be done. So for that test purpose, this X-ray, various type of X-ray tests are done. Then next is hydrostatics test. So in hydrostatics test, the hydraulic pressure of fluid is given to a component for the testing procedure. Some systems subjected to hydrostatic testing, that is drainage system, fireman flush seawater circulation system, steam system, compressed air system, fuel system, hydraulic system, feed condense system, fresh water system, sewage system, etc. And the subjected to hydrostatic testing, that is valves, piping, heat exchangers, pumps, mechanical connection, flags, etc. The principle of this hydrostatic testing, fluid systems are hydrostatically tested during the initial construction and subsequent no repair, modification and component replacement to verify the leak tightness of the system. Operation pressure tests are performed periodically to determine the leak tightness of system mechanical joints. Operational pressure tests are also performed instead of hydrostatic test when the criteria of the operating pressure test opinion are met. The basic purpose of such test is to ascertain that the system can perform its intended function, safety and reliability. The sequences of these hydrostatics test is, first of all, establish required prerequisition and initial conditions, align the system for testing, pressurize the system slowly and incrementally, check for leakage at normal operating pressure and to lower incremental pressure. Continue to increase pressure to hydrostatics test pressure. Then perform required inspections. After all, depressurize, remove temporary equipment and restore the system to the conditions required for subsequent evaluations. So these are the typical test requirement, that is the system must have 135% of design pressure to withstand for a 30-minute test and followed by visual inspections. That it contains that leakage, whether it is coming from or not from any parts, the leakage can be adequately contained to protect equipment, and the leakage is within the capacity of the hydrostatics test pump to maintain the pressure throughout the test. So as liquid can be seen visually, so this hydrostatics test is very much applicable in case of naval architecture or naval equipment, etc. and aircraft equipment. Next is weight test. The purpose of this weight handling equipment, to test the weight handling equipment, it is applicable to all weight handling equipment. Examples: ordnance handling equipment, underway replenishing equipment, shipboard store and provision handling equipment, hull fittings, lashing gears, elevators, wires and fiber ropes and rigging, etc. Test procedure: pre-test inspection, that is visual inspection. Then next is operational test, check for operating parameter, leaks, safety shutdown, etc. Next is no load test, that is look for damage, operation temperature, and brake adjustment. Then rated load test, that is ensure the equipment operate at rated condition without overheating or other failures. Then static load test, that is check for safeties at conditions above the rated load. Do not use equipment being tested to lift the static overload. Typical test is 150 to 220% of rated load for 10 minutes. Then dynamic overload test, stability of equipment to operate with overload. Typical test if 120 to 125 to 150% of the rated load. The above note that above valves are for fire site testing. If at sea, the requirement for static and dynamic testings are recorded. So these weight tests are done in various industries, in modern industries. So with this, we are concluding this session. These are the references. Thank you for joining this session.